Hello, my name is Martina Jacober. I am a lieutenant with the Guilford Police Department, and I am joined here today with Officer Scott Gingras,
Hello.
who is the school resource officer over at the high school. So today we have a few things to talk about in regards to scams in the holiday season, and we'd just like to give you some updates on what's out there and how to keep safe.
Yeah, so unfortunately, even though this is a very joyous and giving time of year, scammers do use the holiday season to try to exploit people, and there are a lot of scams and frauds out there we just want everyone to be aware of. One of them is a very popular one around the holiday season. That's the package delivery scam. So this essentially is obviously a lot of people shop online during the holiday season. They're expecting packages, whether it's from UPS, FedEx, Amazon, or even the Postal Service. And so what the scammers do is they'll send you a text or an email that will look like it's coming from UPS or FedEx or the post office. And it will usually have instructions or say something about a package being delivered. So it could be something like, there was an issue with your package being delivered. You need to click this link in order to rectify the issue. Or you need to click this link in order to pay for your package to be delivered, or something like that. Or even to check your delivery status of your package. And so people who, knowing they're expecting a package or two, will then go and click that link. Once they get the text, they'll be like, oh yeah, I ordered a package and it's being shipped via FedEx. So I clicked the link, and now the issue with that is this isn't an actual message or text or email from that company. It's actually a scammer, right? So you click the link, and now that can introduce malware to your phone or even your computer, where your personal information could be obtained and your computer or your phone could be compromised. So really important that if you do get those texts or emails, to not click on any links that you're just getting randomly. Even if it says it's from the post office or FedEx or Amazon, you can't really trust that. What you should do, if you are expecting a package, let's say from FedEx, and you're truly think there might be an issue with your delivery, or you want to check your delivery status, what you should do is, whenever you buy something online, of course, they send you tracking information, usually the tracking number or a link where you can actually track the package. So you should just refer to your actual email that you got from the company that's sending the item, and then go to the FedEx website or the UPS website or the post office website and put in that tracking number. And then track your package that way, or see if there's any issues with it, rather than clicking on the link that you got from that email or that text message.
So the next one we're going to talk about is the gift card scams. So I kind of tell everybody this, is that if somebody's asking you to pay a bill or pay for something in a gift card, it's 100% a scam all the time. The only time you're going to be sending gift cards are for some family members that might have a birthday, might have something going on. Obviously, that's not a scam. But if you get a call from, say, the electric company, or somebody claiming to be an organization or business, even a government organization like the IRS, or some people in Guilford have gotten calls saying they have a warrant that they have to pay for, and the scammer on the other end of the line is asking you to pay with a gift card, that's 100% a scam. We're not going to do that. Police departments, IRS, the Eversource company is not going to call and ask you to pay for your bill in some sort of gift card. I can guarantee you that. So what you want to do is, if you feel like maybe you are in arrears in some type of payment, something like that, you're going to call, again, just like Officer Gingras said before, you're going to call the company directly. Is there a bill that I have that's in arrears? Am I in danger of being shut off? Or am I going to just be scammed by this person? So it's important in order to avoid anything, because one time, at some point, when these gift cards get transferred over to people, that sometimes is the last time we can get a hold of the money. So it's really important, if you do fall victim to this type of scam, you're going to make sure that you keep those cards, don't cut them up, because there is a possibility sometimes to get that money back, but you need the gift card information in order to do so. And call the police department immediately. Once you've realized you've been a victim of this scam, call us and let us know. Even if you didn't hand over the number, it's helpful for us to know that we've had this scam in town, and maybe we can educate others on it, or put the word out that these scammers are calling locally. Most of the time when you do go to the store, there's going to be, when you buy a gift card, there's going to be some sort of language on the credit card machine that says, are you buying this for a gift, or could this be a scam? And sometimes people even ask you questions. Oftentimes, if you do have a scammer that actually has you on the phone, they're going to tell you not to communicate with anyone else while they're doing this transaction with you, and they try to tell you to avoid any interaction with those people. So it's just there's an urgency to it when you talk to them, or when there's an email, it's an urgency. Do this now, do this now. Don't talk to anybody, just get it done. And when that is the case, again, that's going to be a major red flag for those types of scams.
Awesome. So next thing we're going to talk about are charity scams. So again, during the holiday season, a lot of times people find that they want to donate to a charity, which is great. But unfortunately, there are a lot of these charities out there that aren't necessarily charities, and you don't necessarily know where the money is going. Is it actually going to people in need or not? So I just want to give you a couple websites that you can go to if you're kind of a little bit unsure if a charity is legitimate or not. Before you make that donation, you can go to a few different websites, and those are Charity Watch, Charity Navigator, and GuideStar. So those are some good websites that you can go to, and just to type in the name of the charity that you're going to donate to, or you want to donate to, and just make sure that it is legitimate and the money that you're donating is actually going to people in need. The Better Business Bureau, also very good resource. If you go on their website, they have tons of resources about scams and frauds. But they have a Wise Giving Alliance, and that actually offer ratings about different charities, as well as insight as to how the charities conduct business and spend their donations. So again, just another website to visit. Type in the name of that charity that you're thinking of donating to, and just make sure that it is legitimate before you make the donation. You could also use the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, has a tax-exempt organization search to determine if your contribution is tax deductible. So that's always an advantage that you can take. And you can also help confirm the authenticity of the charity using that website. So again, that's the IRS's tax-exempt organizational search. If you are making a donation to a charity via online, always look for in the web address that HTTPS. Right, so the S in that at the end there, that indicates that it's the connection that you have, the internet connection, is a safe, encrypted, secure connection. So whenever you're using a website, you can always look for that, as well as the lock icon, which would usually be next to the web address on most computers. If it has that lock icon, again, that's just signifying that you're on a secure, encrypted internet connection that's not compromised. And then if you are going to make a donation, you could use your credit card, right, for extra security. And the benefit to that is that you can dispute charges generally on your credit card if you are a victim of fraud. Using your credit card might make it easier to document your donation for tax purposes. So again, just a couple tips when you're thinking of donating to different charities.
So the next topic we're going to discuss is porch pirates. So if anyone has never heard of this, so porch pirate is essentially, they tend to follow around, whether it's UPS, the mail trucks, FedEx, or any of the Amazon vehicles driving around town. They might trail them and see packages left on front doors, or on the side of the building, somewhere where it's visible to the road. As soon as that driver takes off, the thieves run up to the house, remove the package, and run off. So they steal your pirate booty. So you want to make sure that you have some arrangement set up with your delivery service, whether it is having them put the packages to the rear of the building, or behind something so it's not visible to the road, or schedule a time when somebody will be home. You can even maybe make arrangements with your neighbors to ensure that your neighbors are aware there's a package there and they can pick it up for you, so it's not sitting out there visible. So it's certainly something. It's to the tune of billions of dollars every year in thefts from people's properties, and it's a very quick crime, and it's easily preventable with a couple of steps put in place in advance. So definitely speak with your carriers, even if you put a note on the front door as a direction where they should put the items, so that way they can follow that and ensure that everybody gets their package safely.
I know with like my Amazon account, it actually has a place to put delivery instructions.
Yep.
So I always put deliver to the back door, right, rather than the front door, in case I'm not able to get that package in time.
Yeah.
So it's not just left out on my front steps.
Exactly.
So very good. Kind of going along with the package theft is also mail theft, right? Another big issue any time of year, but especially during the holiday season. The Postal Service actually offers a lot of good services in relation to mail. One of them being mail hold. So if you are going to be away for the holiday season for a prolonged period of time and you don't have a family member or a friend or a neighbor who can come and get your mail each day, what you can do is go to the USPS website. So it's just USPS.com. And they actually have a link there for putting your mail on hold. So they'll actually hold it at the post office. And then when you return, you can go and get it. So it's not piling up in your mailbox. So that's a really good service they offer. The other one I just want to mention is called Informed Delivery. So I actually use this service. I think it's really cool. Again, it's free to sign up for on USPS.com. Just go to the link, Informed Delivery. And what it will do is any day that you're getting mail, you'll actually get an email. So you have to obviously put in your email address, and you'll get an email each morning from the Postal Service, basically with a scanned image of what you're receiving that day. It's like, I already got an email this morning that I'm getting a couple pieces of mail as well as a couple packages. So really, really cool. And the purpose of this is, so now when I go home after work and I go check my mailbox, if I got the email saying I was supposed to get 2 envelopes, right, and there's only 1 in there, then obviously I know there's an issue and maybe possibly someone stole one of my envelopes out of my mailbox. So it's just another good service, again, that's free, that USPS offers. And then just one other last thing regarding mail, and this is, again, any time of year, not necessarily just around the holidays. If you are sending out a letter or a piece of mail, we always recommend that you go to the post office in person and drop it inside the post office. I know it's a little bit of a drive maybe and a little extra time, but it definitely ensures that your mail makes it to its destination more safely. We do have mail thefts where people put a letter or an envelope in their mailbox to be delivered or to be picked up by the postal carrier. They put up their red flag, and now someone driving by, a criminal driving by, sees that red flag and says, oh, there's mail in that mailbox, and then they go and steal it. So we recommend not putting, even though it's the easiest option, we recommend not necessarily putting your mail in your residential mailbox and putting up the red flag. The better thing to do would be, if you are going to send something out, especially something important, it should drive to the post office and drop it inside, or at least put it in the blue collection boxes, which are going to be more secure than, again, your residential mailbox.
And with that too, along with the mail getting sent out, a lot of times this time of year, people write checks or things like that. Ensure that if you are writing a check, something like that should definitely go through directly to the post office. Also utilize a gel ink pen. The gel ink makes it nearly impossible for them to wash the check and rewrite it for another amount. So it ruins the actual paper. Instead of just ballpoint pen ink can be washed very easily off a check. The amount can be changed and it can be cashed in someone else's name. So important with that check writing this time of year, always use a gel ink pen. All right, and then the next topic we're going to cover is called the gift card draining. So this is relatively new in the news. Essentially, what's happening is when you go to buy a gift card for somebody and you want to give it as a gift, some people are finding that they go to use the card and it's already been drained. They're finding that there's several ways people are doing this. One of the ways is they're actually removing the card from the store. These thieves, they're removing it from the store. They're taking it home. They're taking all the information off the card, then resealing it, putting it back on the shelves in the store a while later. And then as soon as that card gets loaded with funds, it immediately gets drained out. The other way, some people are actually just clipping the information off the top so that it's already activated in the system. So as soon as it gets scanned at the register, it immediately gets drawn out of the system. So the funds can come out either of those two ways in that credit card draining system, or that gift card draining system. But it's a very prevalent issue that's going on right now. So oftentimes, a lot of stores now are encouraging people to open up the gift card and scan it when they get in there right away to determine that it hasn't been used or drained. And then, maybe you buy a little gift card holder separate, because now it's out of the packaging to give as a gift, but at least you know that it's a valid one and it's not been drained. So very important to check those things before you leave the store.
Yeah, one thing that I do is I know, sometimes if I'm shopping at Walmart, let's say, they'll have the rack of all the gift cards and they'll have Dunkin' Donuts gift card and Starbucks, but those obviously could more easily be tampered with, right? Because they're just out on a rack and no one's really monitoring them. So what I'll do is if I want to get somebody a Dunkin' Donuts gift card, I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts, right? Because they're right there on the counter.
Right.
Much less likely that somebody's tampered with them. And so, again, a little bit more work to have to drive to each individual store or restaurant, but definitely safer option. So another one that we're going to talk about is seasonal job scams. So this is, again, pretty prevalent around the holidays, where maybe stores or companies are just hiring employees on a temporary basis for the holiday season. And of course, during the holiday season, people maybe have increased expenses. They want to make a little bit more money, so they're looking for those part-time seasonal jobs. So there's a couple different things to look out for. If you see a job posting or you respond to a job posting and they're asking you to pay money, right, for hiring expenses or uniforms or something like that, just right off the bat, that doesn't really make sense. Most jobs don't require you, most legitimate jobs are not going to require you to pay money to work for their company. So as soon as you see that they're asking you for money to apply, if there's an application fee or some kind of hiring expenses that you need to pay up front, steer clear of that. It is very likely a scam. Most jobs are not going to do that.
Yeah, we should have like a little red flag that we raise for these, because that one is a very prevalent one where, and even when you look on some of these, Facebook Marketplace or any of these places that say, oh, high paying job, work from home, $2,000 a week, no questions asked. I mean, 100% all day scam. It's too good to be true, because it is.
Yeah, if a job posting is offering a lot of money for a little bit of work, like you said, it's probably too good to be true, right? Most, legitimate jobs are not going to do that. And then, of course, just like with anything else, never provide your personal information, especially online or even over the phone, if you don't know exactly who you're talking to. So sometimes these job ads will ask for your social security number and other personal information in order to apply.
Right.
And definitely don't be giving that information out, right, over the internet or over the phone. Most legitimate jobs are not going to ask for that information right away for you to just apply for the job.
Right.
So same thing, bank account information, things of that nature. And of course, you can go to the Better Business Bureau and look up certain companies. If you think they're legitimate or not, you can look for reviews online. And a lot of times, if someone else has been a victim already, they're going to say, yep, this is a scam. Watch out for this company or this job. So do your research, essentially, when you're applying for these seasonal jobs, just to make sure that you are applying for a legitimate job at a legitimate company and it's not a scam.
Yeah. And also, there are websites, too, where you can check the phone numbers to make sure the numbers that are associated with some of these scams, they might pop up almost immediately if you just Google the number. And it'll come up with a lot of those reports of, this was a scam, this, and they'll tell you the same story you got, right? So it's really important. Again, that personal information, Social Security numbers should be really kept close. So only for financial purposes. You're not going to give it out at your doctor's office. You're not going to give it out at some of these other places that always put it on the forms. It is for banking. It is for credit. It is for the federal government for your tax purposes. It is not for regular day-to-day operations. So obviously, when you are getting a job and signing all the paperwork, they need to basically get your Social Security number for those payment purposes. But other than that, it's not necessarily not necessary for just those minor job applications you're going to do online before you go to that interview phase.
Good.
So the other thing we're going to talk about is travel scams. So travel scams are pretty prevalent, especially around this time of year, because a lot of people like to go places. So we have an increase in travel, which means we have an increase in probable travel scams, right? So they have fake travel deals, they have bogus accommodation listings, fraudulent ticket sales. I mean, even online, there are sometimes rentals, like full-time rentals that are online advertised and they're fake. So it's really important to do your homework. Check the property online to see if there's any listing agent. Was the property recently sold? Some of these properties have been listed with their, empty photos and, when the property was vacant before it sold. So they're going to be taking those pictures and creating a whole new ad for it. And it says, let's see, in 2024, scammers have begun using cloned websites of reputable travel agencies and online booking platforms to defraud travelers. So it's really important to look at those websites and make sure that it matches the same one. So sometimes you'll see those sponsored ads when you're looking for things. Sometimes those sponsored ads are fake websites. So you want to make sure that you do your due diligence and follow the correct websites. Oftentimes we have people, even for some of these mortgage scams, so they buy a property and they'll get an email from the mortgage company that says, oh, your last payment didn't go through. Well, that email address, if you look at it, is off by one letter or one digit, even like a dot between the names. And just that little bit of a change now has changed the whole email address. And so you think you're sending it to the mortgage company, your payment, and unfortunately, that payment's going to someone else's wired account. And we've had people out several $100,000s in these types of scams. So it's really important to check that email address, to check that website specifically, because if you spell it wrong, if it's not right, you might not be getting the right website. So this is just an example scenario of these travel scams. A traveler books a holiday rental from a site that looks identical to a trusted platform, but is in fact a scam. After making payment, they discover the rental does not exist or is not affiliated with the platform they thought they were using. So we have had that where people have had been built out of a lot of money because they got, whether it was an Airbnb or something like that, which was fake. So it's important to definitely do your homework and make sure that what you're putting your money to is a legitimate source. So the only thing I would add to is when we're talking about Social Security numbers, it's really important. If you are not applying for credit or need it for any reason, it's really easy to freeze your credit. So it's important to you can go online to do it. You can call one of the 3 credit bureaus. There's
Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
That's the ones. Yeah. So you can call all of those places and freeze your credit. And what's nice is you can unfreeze it and freeze it with the app anytime you want. So you don't have to wait, and you can put in a timeline. Like, I'm going to apply for a credit card, so I need it open for 4 hours on this date, and then it closes again. That way it just reduces the ability for people to use your Social Security number to open up fake accounts. So again, one thing to really think about moving forward. If you're not using your Social Security number to open up any credit accounts or buy a car or anything like that, just freeze it. And that way, you're limiting some chances of being victimized.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, we had a lot of good stuff happening this holiday season, but just a lot to also look out for, right? So we hope you have a happy and safe holiday season.
And lock your cars.
Yes, absolutely lock your cars. Thanks, guys.
Take care.